Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Rave Green Magazine. My name is Ian Loney, and I'm here with our managing editor, Abraham DeWeese, and our soccer editor, Rich Michelsen. And today, it's going to be a kind of a dark episode because we're going to be talking about the Sounders' exit from the playoffs in their loss and penalty kicks to FC Dallas. So, Abraham, what do you think of that match?
I don't think much of it, Ian. I don't like it.
Me either. So why don't you tell me why?
Okay, I'll tell you why. I sat there and I saw a team that has superior talent.
Mm-hmm.
We have way more talent than FC Dallas does.
Mm-hmm.
And all I saw were our guys just unable to get motivated, to get down the field and get some shots on goal. I only saw maybe 3 actual shots on target. Haven't looked at the stats yet. But I can tell you this. They outshot us about 3-1. That has nothing to do with anything except effort and speed. I didn't see us efforting.
What do you think, Rich? I thought I saw things a little bit differently than Abe, but what did you think about the whole thing?
So here's the thing. I alluded to it a little bit earlier tonight on our live show. I'm throwing down the GOAT hat on Obafemi Martins, who has been spectacular since he came back from injury, but in this game was just absolutely atrocious. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's bad when you're a designated player, when you're someone with the pedigree of Martins, and our newest addition, Andreas Ivanschitz, outplays you. Mm-hmm. Andy Rose, who's a fine backup player, outplays you. Yeah. Eric Freiberg, again, who is a fine contributor, outplays you. Mm-hmm. And there was just none of the standard Martins and Dempsey chemistry, because Martins wasn't playing. Dempsey, from what I saw on the game, and I'll have to go back and watch a little bit more in depth to get some details, but Dempsey looked fine. Dempsey didn't have his partner. His partner didn't come to dance. Mm-hmm. That was the problem.
Martins had some good hold-up play, but yeah, for the most part, it was not.
My wife, who is not a soccer fan, she just watches because it makes me happy, sort of. And I dominate the TV when the Sounders are on. Basically said, what the crap is wrong with their offense? They just can't pass the ball. She's like, they're missing wide open passes, not hard passes, wide open passes to one another. Mm-hmm. She's like, the defense can't last.
They spent much of the game clearing the ball.
Yes.
Rather than driving it up.
So how much of this was the fact that they were still missing Osvaldo Alonso, though? I mean, he's the facilitator. He's the guy that lets them possess it out of the back when they're done defending, as opposed to just clearing the ball, like you said. He's the guy that always lets that happen. He's always the guy that finds the open pass.
Yeah, well, there's that. But I mean, like his replacement, Andy Rose, I saw him get flat out beat 6 times, half a dozen times, just flat out foot race beat.
Yeah, I would agree that the speed of Dallas was certainly a deciding factor in this, but the other deciding factor was that Seattle did not possess the ball. Mm-hmm. And that's not because Osvaldo Alonso was not on the field. No, obviously he is a fantastic player. He is great at possessing the ball, holding it up, handling the ball under pressure, and then passing and finding someone else. And that's how Seattle played for a lot of the year. So they're having to do something a little bit different. But here's the other thing. They refuse to play out of the back. They really refuse to let their backs pass the ball back and forth and then pass it along to the midfield and then build from the midfield and pass that up to the forwards. They refuse to play the slow build-up that they had been so good at for the whole year. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, they were just in a big, fat hurry to go get another goal. And the fact of the matter is this Dallas defense was not great. They were good. They were not great. With the talent we have on the field, this Dallas defense should have wilted under the pressure of the superior offensive firepower we had.
It really felt like that they were just trying to, like you said, force the ball forward. Mm-hmm. And I know part of it was that I'm sure that they had Castillo and Diaz and their counterattacking ability way up in the front of their minds, and they weren't going to let that happen, even though it did happen late. That they weren't going to let that happen, so they just didn't overcommit forward, and then they just tried to force long balls forward. But that's not their game. And the best way to prevent the other team from scoring is possess the ball. And Abe, what do you think went wrong with that? Why weren't they possessing the ball?
Again, I get back to it. They kept trying to play this long ball game. They kept clearing the ball. They didn't choose to string passes, and ultimately the whole Siggy Schmidt concept of bunching doesn't work, and it just infuriates me because we have superior talent, and we don't get any kind of separation between our players. Instead, you get like Andy Rose. You get Andy Rose coming down there on the, pushing and driving, and then he runs into the guy with the ball. He runs into our own player with the ball. So you got too many people just way too close together.
So all that said, Chad Marshall, who was a god in this game, by the way, I will say that of all the problems that he had, it would have been a lot worse if not for Chad Marshall, like breaking up several Dallas chances. Obviously, he scored the Sounder goal off the header, off the corner there, and was just fabulous through the entire match. But what do you guys think of? Was it the defending seemed a lot of times disorganized tonight? What do you guys think happened there? Was it just all the injuries? What do you guys?
It wasn't just the injuries. You had you had Tyrone Mears, who looked old on that right back position.
A lot of the team looked old tonight.
Yeah, and then you had Fisher, who looked way too young. I mean, it's like those two backs.
Here's the thing that I saw tonight, specifically on the wings and the backs. Our left and right backs repeatedly got beat with pace because they were asked to come up and support the midfield, who couldn't get anything going. Which is a major problem. Fisher probably is going to turn into a fairly nice player. I mean, he's definitely got talent. He's definitely got speed. He shows flashes of really good skills.
I thought he was
the issue
good in the
is
second half,
time
actually.
in the system and lack of chemistry and experience. And ultimately, it's the problem that's plagued us the whole season. I mean, I pointed this out to you guys of going into the playoffs that the Sounders were tied for the first best defense in all of MLS, but their weak spot has been offense. They only scored like 42 or 43 goals this year. Last year, when they stormed to the Supporters Shield win, I think they had like 65 goals.
So I know this is still raw. So what do you guys think is what they need to do in the offseason to fix that? I mean, obviously, they need to do something to give them more width. So what do they need to do to go ahead and address that, Abe?
Width. Hopefully, when you mean width, you're also referring to what I want to see, and that's a greater separation between the players and playing
That's
spacing.
Yeah, spacing. Playing with spacing, exactly.
More wing play, yes.
I think what you have to do is you have to take a look at the end of days for Pineda. You have to look at letting Barrett go. A lot of these role players who just have not been coming in and giving us that energy that we need. They come in, their legs are old, their bodies are old, a lot of fatigue. They're not going to be able to keep Papa. They're not going to be able to keep Pineda. Got to get younger, and Gareth Lagerwey is going to find younger guys to replace him.
Well, okay, let's talk about the age of the Sounders. The core of the team is not very young anymore. Alonso, obviously, he's getting hurt a lot. He's in his 30s now. Dempsey's going to be 32 next year. Oba's, I think, 32 or 33 next year. I mean, at what point do we have to say that it's time to break it all up and start it all over again? I mean, these guys aren't getting any younger, and their window is, I think, starting to close a little bit. What do you think of that, Rich?
I don't think that they'll break it up. This is a team that does not break things up. The ownership group is unwilling to rebuild. This is a team that will reload. Okay. Something that Garth Lagerwey made a point about when he made all four of those big signings in the summer with Roman Torres, who I really am excited about looking forward to, even though he's 29, going to be 30, center backs last a good, 5 or 6 years longer than other position players do. So that's exciting especially the idea of teaming him up with Chad Marshall. Getting younger is certainly something that's useful. But what Lagerwey said was, we didn't give up anything to get these guys. We only spent our owners' money, and they were happy to open up the checkbook to do it when we brought in Valdez and Torres and Ivanschitz and Freiberg. So that's a good thing, is that nothing from the youth academy, nothing from Sounders 2 was given up. What we need to see is some development of those younger players through Sounders Tooth from the youth academy.
You're talking about Christian Roldan and Fishers. Mm-hmm. You want more of those.
I'd like some more depth. I'd like to see someone come in and be able to contribute immediately. I mean, Orlando City didn't make the playoffs, but they had a massive contribution from Rookie of the Year, or soon to be Rookie of the Year, Kyle Laren, who scored, I think, 16 goals on the season. We need contributions from younger players like that. I actually think that Christian Roldan is going to be a very fine player. He just needs a little bit more seasoning. I mean, he's only 20. So
yeah, I really didn't like him coming in. Ian and I kind of argued about this because I thought, oh boy, a guy with only 3 career starts under his belt, you're putting him in the biggest game of the year.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they put him into the wrong spot. They should have actually put him in Rose's spot and had Rose slide outside, because Rose has played on the left and right midfield a lot more than Roldan. Roldan is a natural center midfielder. That's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the substitutions, and that was part of the problem down the stretch. Once the Sounders scored the goal, obviously they were stuck in a 3-5-2 or 3-5-3 type of alignment, and they didn't have a left back. And Dallas obviously exploited that with their second goal. They were attacking that with everything they had, and they put Roldan. Roldan was out of position. I mean, I don't put that on him. He was a rookie. He's a central midfielder, playing completely out of position, and yeah, he got abused at left back a little bit, but I don't really put that on him that much.
I actually have to make a call out Andreas Ivanschitz, not in a bad way, but in a very, very good way. He a ton of times was outclassed on raw speed. And he made a number of great defensive plays on that left side, trying to protect Roldan, trying to protect that weak spot on the Sounders defense. And just, I mean, he's 32. He's not going to win a foot race with a kid like Michael Barrios or Fabian Castillo. That's just an impossibility. But more to the point is that I saw real grit and determination, and I really hope that he sticks around. Same thing with Nelson Valdez. I really liked it. I think his body betrayed him. The other guy I got to call out is Marco Papa. I don't know what the hell was going on with him. He was out of sync. He didn't run. He should have been fresh. He came in at like the 83rd, 85th minute.
So Papa looked like a guy who's trying to win the game by himself.
Yeah, that's what it really looked like to me too.
That's what I saw.
Because I saw Dempsey cramping up. I saw Oba cramping up. I saw Evenshitz cramping up. I mean, they all looked like they were out of gas there in extra time, and it looked like Papa was trying to do it all by himself. And he was running up, from about the time he came in until about the 110th minute or so, he was just running up and down the field, offensively and defensively. I think he just gassed himself. Honestly,
I don't know what it was. I remember late in the game, it's tied. The Sounders get a mini fast break, if you will, right? They actually have numbers. Dallas is retreating. They don't have defensive numbers, and it's Martins and Dempsey and Papa and Ivanschitz, and I think even Barrett. Yeah, the whole offensive half of the team is moving up to do that. Even Rose was involved on it, and Papa dribbles up by himself and shoots from 25 yards, totally off target. Doesn't try to do anything with these other fantastic players. It's just the most infuriating player this season for me. Has to be Marco Papa.
He's been so streaky. He'll have one game where mostly when he's come in as a sub. And he's wonderful, wins the game for us. And it seems like every time he started, he's just been abysmal. Made decisions like that. He collapses inside when he's in the wing positions way too often. It's been a problem. I think he's someone that they need to move on from this offseason myself. So we're running out of time here. Any last thoughts on this game and the Sounders season, Rich?
I have loved what the Sounders have done at this point, and I've loved seeing Ziggy Schmidt coach. And I've been a very, very big Ziggy supporter over the years. Certainly not in the Ziggy out crowd, and I'm not there either. But I do think that the team at the upper management, the ownership level, needs to decide basically where they would like this team to go. If they want to, they want to give it another go with this older core, maybe try to work in a few young guys, or if they need to do a total, a total reload, and get 5 years younger across the board. Ultimately, that needs to be made
Right. And Abe, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen going forward? And what do you think about the season?
Aggravating season, lost potential going forward. Disagree with you, Rich. I think maybe a little bit more of a hack and slash across the role players needs to occur.
Okay, and I kind of agree with Abraham. I think they need to do some major reshuffling, especially in the role playing positions. Obviously, Dempsey and Ober on big contracts are going to be around for a bit, and I still think they have something left in the tank. But I think Papa, Pineda, all those kind of guys, I think there's going to have to be some major reshuffling there and probably a youth movement in that direction. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show for tonight. Thank you all for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at Seattle Side Up, Facebook Seattle Side Up, or check out our website at seattlesideup.com. Once again, I'm Ian Loney, along with Abraham DeWeese and Rich Michelsen, and thanks again for watching.